Even when you feel low, you can still go. Even when you feel slow, you can still go. Even when there's no hope, you can still go. I never answer to no, man, I still go. Go, 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 yo, go, go, go. Hustle hard, hustle every single day.
Hey guys, this is Itjustoneguy, and I'm back here with another video. Now today I wanted to talk about Unity, and apparently they're getting rid of their CEO. And this was a necessary change, which frankly they had to do. There was no other way to come back and gain trust in the company than to get rid of the CEO. And I understand why they had to do it. But what I wanted to talk about was how Unity could have avoided this moving forward, and what are they going to do moving forward in the future? Because even though they're getting rid of the CEO, this clearly wasn't just him. It's clearly a movement of the company and the way the company is operating. So it won't solve Unity's core problems of being profitable. And I also wanted to talk about, again, who is Unity for? Because ever since Unity became a public company and is forced to make money, well, more money and be more profitable, I wanted to talk about, well, who is Unity for? Is it for the indie developers, or are they just chasing money? Because yes, they can get rid of the CEO, but the whole thing that caused the runtime fee in the first place was the fact that they needed money, and that's going to be a problem whether they have this CEO or the next CEO. So the first thing I wanted to say was, I think Unity could have avoided a lot of this by just clearing this with the community in some type of forum on their website beforehand, where people could have gave their feedback and input on this, instead of just springing it on people and then going into complete silence. Because if they had did it that way, then at least people could have been prepared for the change before it took effect. Instead, they just announced that the change was taking effect, which is a pretty dramatic change in their pricing structure, and then just left it at that. It was up to the user and the developer to accept whether they wanted to deal with it or not. If they had just spitballed ideas on their website in some type of public forum, they could have got a lot of feedback and avoided a lot of this negativity. Sure, they would have still got some negativity, but it would have been counteracted quickly, as they could have said, this is just what we're thinking about. We haven't actually done this yet. And then they could have came up with the system they have now, which frankly they should just get rid of the runtime fee, because it sounds like it's not going to matter anyway. So saying that they got rid of their CEO, but how much does that help? And I also wanted to talk about people just dealing with these type of companies in general, because my take on it is, I have never trusted any company, because companies have a fiduciary responsibility to make money, to make the most money as possible. So while this happened with Unity, it could happen with anybody who has a profit motive. So people switching to Unreal, I look at it the same way. As they can do the same thing. Sure, they can't do it to the extent that Unity did it, where they could potentially change the TOS retroactively. But Unreal is a company that does have to make money. Epic is a company that does have to make money, and so they have the same profit incentive as any company. This is why I do see how Godot in some ways is a better option, because it is open source, and any company you have to be wary of dealing with, because they have a profit motive. So when I started using Unity, I went into that fully expecting the company at some point to basically just F me over, because I expect that of any of these companies. Adobe did it. Any type of software I use, Microsoft did it. They put ads within the operating system. I went from loving Microsoft back in the day to absolutely hating Microsoft now, because they have just a profit motive. Google did the same thing. They basically destroyed all their technology, just trying to put ads into everything and trying to make as much money as possible, and just being unfriendly to work with. Microsoft search bar is completely useless now because it tries to search the internet and gives you ads. I haven't used Cortana in years, even though it was a fairly good product, just because it's annoying. And it has all this, Windows 10 had all this spyware in it. So my take on dealing with companies in general has always been to be wary of them. So going forward in Unity, well, I've always had this attitude. I think people should just be wary of dealing with any company that has a profit motive, whether it be Unity, Unreal. The only reason I couldn't say Godot is because Godot has some sort of license where it guarantees that it's always going to be open source. So no matter what you build. So going forward with game developers, I think it really needs to be a decision on whether you want to deal with a big company or whether you want to go truly open source. Now, I don't think the open source technology is as good as as something like a company's technology, because they have paid developers that are developing the technology. And I want to clarify something I said in my last video, that Godot wasn't on Android. Apparently you can make Android games with Godot. I haven't seen too many of them, but apparently it can be done. But something like Godot really seems to be the only option going forward. It's kind of like how I see 3D modeling programs. In the beginning, you still do have a bunch of them. You had Maya, 3D Max, and Blender. But nowadays, Blender seems to be the main program that everybody uses for 3D modeling. And the reason is, it's just because it's free and it's open source. Well, I don't think it's open source. I'm not for sure on that. But it's free to use and it doesn't cost anything. And that's the reason that everybody uses Blender now. From what I'm seeing, I don't see too many people using 3D Max and stuff like ZBrush and all that stuff anymore, because they switched to these service models, which were just so destructive. You couldn't just buy the program outright anymore. So I've always been wary of companies with profit motives, and I just wanted to say that piece, because even though Unity is getting rid of their CEO, you still have to be wary of any company with a profit motive, especially public companies, because they legally have to make as much money as possible. But Unity is making a step in the right direction, and going forward, they should really have some type of forum to at least have developers have input on what they're going to do before they actually do it, because that would just make things a lot better. Anyway, those are my thoughts. That's it for today. Thank you for watching.